The French resistance agent, Odette Villard, was saved just in time, as the Germans were leading her away for execution. After the rescue, they fled Saint-Paul-sur-Mer by stealing a nearby boat and blowing up the bridge blocking the escape route. Once away, they spent several hours negotiating the interconnecting waterways of the canal to the crash site, which, Odetta had explained, was a section of marshland several miles from the town. En route, she explained that many locals had ventured into the marsh, never to return. Most people kept well away these days, except for a local woodcutter who, rumour has it, walks his dog in the marsh and uses it as a shortcut to reach the town of Brukerque, saving himself hours of travel along the main road. They were minutes from the site, so Odetta bid farewell and set off in the boat, her work now complete. Up ahead, the formidable V-3 rocket lay in pieces, where it had come to rest after the test flight. This wasn't going to be easy. The crash site was heavily defended, and to make matters worse, the Germans had overheard the boat's engine and were heading out to investigate.
Route to the crash site. Once these are dealt with, there still lies the problem of the crash site where the Germans have dug in, guarding the sensitive guidance technology.
Pine. All we can do now is pray. Hey, this looks like a great move. I swear there's more of them here.
The lieutenant, his men, and fellow squads of the 82nd successfully cleared the outskirts of the town as ordered. However, upon advancing deeper, they discovered that the enemy had not yet fled as hoped. The Germans had simply fallen back, and were now supported by formidable heavy armor. It wasn't long before the soldiers were pinned down and unable to fall back themselves. Frantically, the lieutenant radioed his superiors, requesting armored support as a matter of urgency. He was told to wait it out, as the tanks were having a tough time reaching Nijmegen due to the persistence of the German Luftwaffe. The lieutenant had almost given up hope, when his first sergeant suddenly spotted 2 Sherman tanks on the horizon. Could just 2 tanks save them?
The infantry of the 82nd Airborne Division have made inroads into Nijmegen, but are now pinned down by a stronger enemy supported by heavy armor. They won't be able to hold out indefinitely. There is no time to wait for backup, and a decisive strike by the 2 Sherman tanks is the only option.
be?
The date, June 6, 1944. Operation Overlord, the largest offensive in military history, had gone as the Allies planned. American, British, and Canadian troops, supported by 3 airborne divisions, landed in Normandy under extensive enemy fire. While the operation succeeded in crushing the German defense, the cost to the Allies was many thousands of dead. German positions along the coastline of northern France were obliterated, and the Allies threatened the remaining defensive lines. The U.S. Army, led by General Bradley, moved in the direction of Cherbourg, while British and Canadian forces under the command of General Montgomery approached the town of Caen as the door to the German defense in Paris. June 12, 1944. The British 4th Armored Division were set to assault the town of Villers-Bocage, which appeared to be an easy target, being defended by only a handful of German infantry, with no heavy weapon or armor support. The British hoped that by June 13, they would secure the town. Doing so would open a southern flank towards Caen. Conquering Caen would then allow the Allies to approach Paris in several days, and thus seal the fate of the German forces in France. All that stood in the way of an easy victory at Villers-Bocage was a handful of tanks of the 501st Heavy Tank Battalion, led by Obersturmführer Michael Wittmann. Not only were the Germans in Caen depending on their success, but so too were all the German forces in France. If they held out, so would the Western Front. Wittmann and his fellow tankmen had every faith in the Tiger, which they believed was the best tank in the world. Not because of the vigorous rhetoric from their leaders back in Germany, but because they had seen what the tank could do in battle. Whilst fighting in Kursk and in East Ukraine, packs of agile Russian T-34s had stubbornly thrown themselves at the German tanks, only to be overwhelmed by the Tiger's formidable gun and resilient armor. The group was cautiously heading towards Villers-Bocage to bolster the pitiful resistance. It was not a good time to be a German soldier, even inside the formidable Tiger. The enemy dominated the skies of Normandy. The Tiger, while unsurpassed on the ground, stood little chance against the Allied Typhoon fighter bombers with their determined armor-penetrating rockets. Even if they could get to Villers-Bocage undetected, they'd still have to face numerous Allied Sherman and Cromwell tanks, which outnumbered them 7-1. Wittmann knew the odds were stacked against them. However, he and his men were determined to go out in a blaze of glory, taking as many of the enemy with them as possible. Several kilometers from Villers-Bocage, his fears were realized when he heard the distant approach of plane engines. He concluded that the approaching planes were probably Allied, so he barked the order to head for cover.
Muy bien, Commander. I have that.
Allied fighter bombers are fast approaching. If the column does not find suitable cover and quickly, the enemy planes will obliterate the tanks. There is a disused farm area up ahead. This may provide cover. Germany's most prolific tank ace and his fearless crew were stopped in their tracks before they began. Germany's most Although the disused farm building provides suitable cover from the plains, the danger is far from over. A group of British commandos have fortified the bridge up ahead. What's more, if they discover the tanks, then they will surely call back the planes via the APC radio station. The bridge must be secured and the APC destroyed. However, it will have to be handled on foot.
All right, boys, who wants a medal for courage? A German soldier would rather die than miss the attack. I'm the one for the party! Gott mit uns! I will lead you to the field of glory! I'm the one for the party! Want to play Katze und Maus? Gott im Himmel! Let's tear them down! German soldier would rather
All
die
right,
than
boys.
miss the
Who
attack.
wants a medal for courage?
I will lead you to the field of glory. Gott in uns! Want to play Katze und Maus? Let's tear them down! I'm the one for the party! Gott mit uns!
All right, boys. Who wants a medal for courage?
Gott im Himmel!
Mantap ya.
Der Mann ist into attack. I'll get some
I will lead you to the field of glory! Zum Teufel! We're just wasting our ammo! A German soldier would rather die than miss the attack. Charge!
Want to play Katze und Maus? Let's tear them down! This can't be! It was not part of the plan! I'm the one for the party! I've had better days. Let's tear them down! Gott mit uns! Hello vom Stuttgart!
Oh, my lord!
A German soldier would rather die than miss the attack. Charge! I'm the one for the party! This will teach you some manners! I'm glad my mother did not see this. Ow, tough luck! All right, boys. Who wants a medal for courage? Now it's getting hot!
We had it coming. It's time to get ready for the worst.
Want to play Katze und Maus? Gott mit uns! Gott im Himmel! Want to play Katze und Maus? A German soldier would rather die than miss the attack. Charge! All right, boys. Who wants a medal for courage? I will lead you to the field of glory. I'm the one for the party. Gott im Himmel! Want to play Katze und Maus? All right, boys. Who wants a medal for courage? Let's tear them down!
The Germans won't see us dead.
I'm the one for the party! I will lead you to the field of glory! Eat this, Schweine!
Eat this!
I'm the one for the party! All right, boys.
Catch!
Who wants a medal for courage?
Looks like the Germans
Eat this, Schweine! Gott im Himmel! Gott mit uns! Hello vom Stuttgart! Ah! They got me!
Serio, tan parecchio.
The encounter with the enemy planes and infantry hadn't troubled the Germans, and they defiantly continued towards Villers-Bocage, knowing that any moment scores of Allied armor in the vicinity could attack. To save fuel, which wasn't available until they reached the village, they'd shut down their tank engines just as some other German soldiers appeared. The infantry sergeant told the Obersturmführer that they had been posted to the outlying regions surrounding the town to report on Allied activity. He warned that a column of Allied armor, preceded by reconnaissance units, was fast approaching the position. Wittmann reasoned that if the reconnaissance units could be taken care of first, the enemy column would have no forewarning and could be ambushed, leaving them no time to call for reinforcements. The sergeant was instructed to lie in wait by the road, while the tanks were ordered to move into an ambush position behind the tree line. Wittmann ordered his driver to fire up the engine, but it spluttered and died. The Obersturmführer was not one to miss out on a battle, so ordered the commander and crew of the number 222 Tiger to disembark, so he and his crew could use the tank instead.